Crosby is, and then you combine him with other talent like Christian Wilkins, who for defensive tackle has raw athleticism, motor, bend, everything else. Look at what Nate Hobbs said about Christian Wilkins. He's never seen a dude 300 plus pounds move the way Christian Wilkins moves.
It's
Like a
not
human
right.
being that
Yeah.
big should not move the way he does.
No.
Should not have the
No.
bend the way he does. This is
Yeah.
one of the things that made Aaron Darnold so great.
Yeah.
Is he was big, but he was supremely athletic.
Yeah. The
And
quickness.
so
It shows up on tape. It's stunning.
even if they don't give him Defensive Player of the Year, I think he'll be just as happy to be hoisting that Lombardi Trophy, whether it's this year
Oh
or
yeah.
next year. I do think it's coming. I think it's really going to come down to two things. Is the NFL going to try and beat us like they usually do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my theory on that is no longer the case. So the hate on the Raiders is no longer the case because we're not in Oakland anymore. We're in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went from being one of the poorest teams to now being top 5 wealthiest teams in just a couple of years by moving cities. And
number one in
building,
revenue.
yeah, building a multi-billion-dollar stadium, all of those things. And so now you have a team that the NFL, which is a business, is looking at not as a team that they don't want to see in the Super Bowl because they're not going to draw as big of a crowd. They're not going to get the type of, people watching that they want, and they're not going to get the advertisement payouts that they want to get if a team like the Oakland Raiders are in the Super Bowl.
Right.
But now that it's the Las Vegas Raiders with this sparkling stadium, I don't think that they're going to try and beat us. And I think if you look at last year, our ridiculous penalties that we usually get called for were down by 80%. Now, maybe that's Antonio Pierce. Maybe that's the NFL saying, okay, we're going to stop hating against this team because if they win, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a team that we can market. So I think that piece of the puzzle has finally been solved by having a state-of-the-art stadium, being in a city like Las Vegas that's worth a lot of money. That's going to make the NFL more encouraged not to hate on it. So I think we've solved that puzzle. Now the last piece of the puzzle is going to really come down to Aiden O'Connell. And I know there's Minshew Mania guys out there. I'm telling you right now, Minshew Mania is not a thing. He is not going to be the starting quarterback unless Aiden O'Connell fails in weeks 4 or 5 and we're 0-4 or we're 0-5. It's going to be Aiden O'Connell. And all he has to do is be a Brad Johnson.
Yep.
That's it.
Exactly.
If he can be a Brad Johnson,
perfect.
We're in the playoffs.
Exactly. Yep.
Now, if he could play better than a Brad Johnson,
right,
we're in the Super Bowl.
Right. Exactly. Well, I just want to make a point that in the first Super Bowl run for the Patriots, Brady was Brad Johnson. Go back and look at the stats. He wasn't Brady yet.
He was not Brady yet.
No,
they just had
the
a
rest
really
of the team carried it.
Yep.
Yeah, great team.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy with the Brad Johnson situation. Great defense, just ready to make a move. Veteran players at the skill positions that are ready to make plays as well. And I think we were the least penalized team in the league under Antonio Pierce. So, like you said, that problem seems to have been solved. That part of it, we're still going to get the media hate, and that's great. Bring it. I love it. That's why I'm hot. But I think we're in a position where if AOC can just kind of do what it looks like his natural progression should be as a quarterback, which is, he's going to have a better command of the offense because he's had a full off season, because that is his superpower, because this is a better offense to try to learn as a player. And he's got the kind of the setup around. He's got two of the quarterback's best friends, which is the tight end. He's got a real number one receiver and then a very legit number two who some people would say is good enough to be a number 1A on a team, right? Um, you know, an offense that's committed to running the football and establishing that, and a head coach that believes in him. So he has everything set up for him to take that next step. And if he does, then yes, we're a playoff team. And then, the sky's the limit from there because, he is a grinder. The dude puts in the work. I will say it again. He was 8th string at Purdue or quarterback college and took the starting job. He's not going to quit. He's going to keep working. He'll get better every year. And so that's what you ask for. I think that's why it's kind of frustrating that he's being so discounted because of how hard he worked. Right. So,
well, here's the thing that I love about it for me. And that's why I titled it the way it is for this video, which is So Much Hate Fuels a Beast. It's the same thing with Aiden O'Connell. He takes the discredit he gets. He takes the disrespect, and it drives him to just keep getting better and to outwork everybody and just win that starting position and be good. Same thing with Christian Wilkins. It's the same thing that has fueled Max Crosby's entire career. When he came in, 4th round draft pick, everybody was saying he's, a rotational player, may not even be in the NFL within 3 years, blah, blah, blah. Subpar hand fighting skills, subpar motor. They got that one wrong for sure.
Wow.
And he's used it to drive his entire career to be as successful as he's been. And so I think the same thing. I think we have a coach who is an undrafted professional football player, linebacker. He was discounted, and he made his way to becoming a Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion and a captain of a Super Bowl champion team. Gets the utmost highest praises from his former Super Bowl champion quarterback, Eli Manning, saying that this dude was so smart that he would change plays on the defense as the middle linebacker on the fly because he knew what I was going to do when we were in practice together, right? And he said, and it's the same thing that he did against Tom Brady during the Super Bowl. So if you actually go back and look at it, on the defense, you got guys like Michael Strahan. I can never pronounce his name. Omni Warrior, whatever his name was.
Oh,
I can never pronounce that dude's name. It's just too crazy. Those are the guys that were getting all of the hype. But if you go back and actually look at it, he had 11 tackles. Antonio Pierce did in the Super Bowl. And he was the one running the defense. So he was calling all the defensive audibles.
He audibled Tom Brady.
And so if you look at, that's who our head coach is. An underdog, a guy who was discredited, disrespected, and became, the top of his career, winning a Super Bowl, being captain of the team, Pro Bowler, all of that stuff. And again, was disrespected as a coach last year, where many people are saying that he has no X's and O's. Go back and listen to what Eli Manning had to say about him. This understands X's and O's. And for all of the talking heads to say, well, he's just a player's coach. He's not like an X and a, he's not one of the
middle linebacker. You have to call defense as a middle linebacker. I don't know if everyone is understanding of it. That's the quarterback of the defense. It's not a joke. It's like literally the quarterback of the defense. Like it's not it's not an analogy. It's like they have to actually call the plays in audible.
Perfect example of that is how many previous quarterbacks in college and some even in the NFL become offensive coordinators. It's the same thing with the middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Those guys eventually become defensive coordinators.
Because
they're the X's and O's guys. Right?
He's got the speaker in his ear that he's talking to the head coach. That's that guy. That's that guy. He did that and he beat Tom Brady. And you're going to tell me he doesn't understand schemes?
Right. And so
as a leader,
you see when he took over, everybody's saying, oh, it was because of Patrick Graham. Yes, it is partly because of Patrick Graham. It is his defense. However, When did the Raiders defense actually start to become dominant? The second Antonio Pierce took over. What changes did Antonio Pierce make to that defense to make them better? A couple of things that I can name right off of the top that both Patrick Graham said as well as Antonio Pierce said, which is he instantly took the chains off of Patrick Graham. It is no holds bar, open up the defense, let them fly. Number two, what he did is he went and got Jack Jones as soon as the Patriots were dumb enough to cut the next Deion Sanders. Number three thing he did is he went to the players and he said, I trust your instincts. We're going to give you the plays. Be smart about it. But if you know what's about to happen, if your instinct tells you from all the game tape that you've watched, all of our practices, everything, if you know what they're about to do,
go get it.
Jump it.
Go get it. Yeah.
Jack Jones pick 6 against the Chargers. Michael Jordan-esque. Jack Jones pick 6, stare down of Patrick Mahomes on Christmas Day.
That's what you want to hear.
Malcolm Kuntz taking off
as
soon as Antonio Pierce becomes head coach. Because Malcolm Kuntz, one, wasn't getting the playing time that he should have been getting because we had our former head coach, Josh McDaniels, insisting that Tyree Wilson be out there instead of Malcolm Kuntz. He didn't believe in Malcolm Kuntz because he doesn't know how to evaluate players. Well, Antonio Pierce does. Antonio Pierce knew that Malcolm Kuntz was way more ready for that first-string position than Tyree Wilson was as a rookie. And so he immediately switched that up. Malcolm's getting the snaps, and he let Malcolm go free because, again, everybody was playing in these little boxes that Josh McDaniels put them in. And Antonio Pierce said, no, the chains are off. Go hunt. Go get them. And you see the difference. And so all the disrespect on the team, on Coach Antonio Pierce, I see it in the comments come in from some of the so-called Raiders fans who are really more Chiefs fans than Raiders fans, it appears, saying that Antonio Pierce won't even have a job come 2025. The Raiders are going to go 0-17. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, how are we going to go 0-17 when the Denver Broncos don't have a quarterback? They have a rookie.
We play the Broncos, right?
He's never played a snap, and they got rid of their best receiver, and they got rid of a bunch of other players. They didn't really have a good offseason. They certainly didn't have good free agency. And the same exact thing has happened to the LA Chargers, where, yes, you still have Justin Herbert there, but you got rid of his 2 main targets. They did
brought in a psychopath as head coach.
They brought in a psycho as a head coach. They did get my boy Brendan Rice, but again, he's going to be a rookie. So he's not going to be a big-time target for Herbert. And then the other thing is Herbert, I don't think he's ever completed 17 straight games in a season. The dude's always getting hurt.
And I still have questions about, like, Herbert in clutch time, big games. Like, where's the signature victory? You know, where's the I don't know. It's just, I'm still looking for the sauce there. Like, he has a lot of ability and skill and all that stuff. I haven't seen that extra something from him. And then I think this Harbaugh stuff is going to break him because they're going to turn him into, like, I don't know, Kirk Cousins or something.
Here's old Frank Perez. I swear to God, this dude is a Chiefs fan. I'm not even going to read it. I just put it up on the screen.
Okay. Well, good job, Frank. You're doing your negative thing there.
Thanks for telling the YouTube algorithm that we're getting lots of integration or interaction on the podcast.
Raider Ryan is starting mess. Raider Ryan, dude, don't start messing the comments, okay? Like, let's not talk about he who shall remain nameless. The rookie with no experience or
I gotta put that on the screen. Is it too soon?
Oh, they drafted Joe Alt to help protect him, so I guess they're trying.
Oh, no, sorry. I put the wrong one on the screen. There it is.
This one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that too soon, hot?
You know what, man? I still think, he's scattered what he is, but it takes more than one player, and an organization can definitely affect the outcome for a player, obviously. So, yeah, I wish he got to the NFC and a team with more talent around him. I actually kind of feel bad for him because I think his coach is going to get fired, and I think that his team is pretty talentless, and I think that they're going to blame him. And so, situations, man. It's windows open and they close and sliding doors and all that jazz. But yeah, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, no matter what happens, I mean, he's still going to be a rookie. The
yeah,
CJ Strouds of the world are unicorns. They don't happen
yeah, it's rare.
on a
Yeah,
regular basis. I
he's
don't
going to struggle.
see Bo Nix being a CJ Stroud for the Broncos, and the Broncos
Probably
still
not.
don't have a defense that can match the weapons that the Raiders have, or the Chiefs, or even the Chargers. So I think Denver's going to probably be last in the division. Chargers will be third. Chiefs will be second. Raiders will be first.
Yeah, I
Now
agree.
that's a big thing, and I'm going off of history. How many teams in the NFL history have ever three-peated?
Have what?
Three-peated.
Oh, that just doesn't. No.
Not only that, but if you go back and you look at Super Bowl teams who've won 2 in a row, even with Tom Brady, their year that they're trying to three-peat is usually a horrible year for that team. And so I don't see that the Chiefs got better. They lost Snead. They still don't have a dominant wide receiver since Tyreek left. They have
Rashid
Travis
Rice is not going
Kelce.
to play. Yeah.
You got Travis Kelce, and that's really, as far as your playmakers, you got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They're
mean, they brought
still,
in Hollywood Brown, so
yeah, they're
that's
still, even with Hollywood Brown though.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe under Patrick Mahomes, he might actually have a Pro Bowl year. We'll see if that happens or not.
Mhm.
But I think that the Raiders now, defensively, we're better than the Chiefs. Offensively, we have more weapons. Now, we don't have the quarterback that the Chiefs have, but we have more overall weapons with our
Yeah.
2 phenomenal tight ends, with Devontae Adams, Jacoby
Oh yeah.
Myers being a workhorse. And then if you listen to what Coach has to say, Trey Tucker is a whole different level so
Told you
far in
guys.
this offseason.
I
And
told you
so
so.
if Trey Tucker takes a big leap in year 2, you already know who's going to get the double teams. That's going to be Devontae Adams.
Right.
But now it's any defense that's going to oppose the Raiders is pick your poison. You want to double team Devontae? Okay, we'll just throw the ball over the middle to Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers over and over and over again and just keep getting first downs until we get into the red zone. Or if you want to push up and try and defend those dudes, we'll just hit you over, down the field with a 40-yard bomb to Trey Tucker, who just outran your entire defense. Or we'll hand the ball off to Jacoby Myers, who will then throw the ball 40 yards down the field to Trey Tucker. So it's like pick your poison. Which way do you want to go? And I think for the first time in over 20 years, the Raiders finally have a complete team on all 3 phases, and most importantly, we have depth, which the Raiders have never had. We have superstars, we have stars, and then we have quality players in abundance. And so that's why I'm most excited about the Raiders this year, and why I think we win the AFC West. I think the pressure is going to be on the Chiefs to three-peat, to be the first team to ever do it, and that's a lot of pressure to have. And remember, I mean, they struggled a lot last year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't think the Raiders are going to struggle this year.
Yeah. I think that it's about matchups. You build your team to win your division, right? We are a physical defense, built around having the best defensive line in the NFL. I think that's been proven out now, right? Go look at the stats. 3 guys in the top 15, right? Um, we're going to hit guys. We're going to aggressively attack the football. Um, and for a team that's built around, an aging tight end, a running back that's nondescript, and receivers who are small and have problems catching the football, I think that we are ready to do something against the Chiefs, right? And then once somebody figures out how to beat them, right, and it shows the formula, other teams copy that, right? Um, when the Niners got figured out, it was they started getting smacked around. People realized that what you need to do is hit the receivers, hit them in the mouth, and that's how you beat them, right? So we have the skill in the secondary to do that now, and we're going to be hitting the quarterback in the mouth a lot. So I think this is going to be a big year for the NFL to kind of the press to kind of wake up to what we are. So yeah,
Yeah, I think coming into this season, the Raiders are fired up. I think Luke Getsy is fired up to prove that he is a top-tier offensive coordinator. He got a bad rap in Chicago because, well, let's be honest, he just had a bad quarterback. Not an athletically bad quarterback. Justin Fields is an extraordinarily athletic talent. I just don't think Justin Fields had the work ethic, or maybe not even, I don't want to say he didn't have the work ethic because I don't know. Maybe he was the first person in the building, last one to leave. But maybe he just wasn't able to make the right decisions, being smart with the football, which shows on film that he struggled with that. Versus now, Luke Getsy has a quarterback who is shown that he's very cerebral, very intelligent,
mm-hmm.
and his last 5 games, he really cleaned up being smart with the football, moving in the pocket, getting out of the
Mm-hmm.
pocket, making plays. 9 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He was second of all rookie quarterbacks in the NFL last year, only to C.J. Stroud, and really not even by that much that he came in second place. And so that was with him coming in mid-season, so he didn't even get all the first-team reps that C.J. Stroud had during the offseason. He
Right.
didn't get to really work out the kinks in weeks 1 through 3 and then start to shine. He
Right.
gets to do that this year. Yes, there's a competition with Minshew. I get it, and I understand
Yeah.
why the Raiders brought him in. Minshew wants to play. Minshew wants to be the starter. He wants to win games. And he has confidence in himself, and that's great. You want a backup who's going to drive your starting quarterback. Unless you have a quarterback like Tom Brady who doesn't need somebody to drive him. He just drives himself. But I think Aiden O'Connell is got that little bit of Tom Brady in him where he's going to drive himself, whether Minshew's there or not. It's just
Oh,
a
yeah, he's
little
a
bit. It's a little
perfectionist.
bit more now because
Yeah.
now I think he realizes that, hey, I could lose my job here, and if I lose it, it's done. It's over. I may not get another opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the NFL on any other team because I'll always have this stigmatism that I lost to Gardner Minshew, who's a career backup quarterback. Not saying that Minshew is bad or anything, but that's
Yeah.
how the NFL looks at Gardner Minshew as a career backup
Right.
quarterback. And
Yeah.
then that would put the stigmatism on Aiden O'Connell, and it'd be hard for him to overcome that at that point. So he has to win it. I think at this point, Aiden O'Connell the Raiders have done everything to give him all the success in the world.
Yeah.
We drafted well. We got him more weapons with Brock Bowers. We got him protection with JPJ, who is an absolute animal, a monster. Now we'll see if it pans out in the NFL, but the attitude is there the technique is there, the footwork is there
Mm-hmm.
for him to be a great
Mm-hmm.
guard in the NFL. One of the critiques on him is maybe he might be a little bit undersized as a guard in the NFL.
323 pounds.
I
Like
think they're talking
320
about more about his length. I just seen a report
at
on
guard?
his undersized.
You don't need long arms at guard. It's
You
not a
don't,
thing.
and that's why we're gonna play him at guard instead
Yeah, if
of
he's playing tackle, but he's not a tackle.
But I think that he's got everything that you want to see. He's got that violent nature for an offensive lineman, and that's what you need in the NFL.
He has stuff on tape that I literally have never seen an offensive lineman do to another player. Like he's literally ragdolling defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Ragdolling them. It's insane.
Now it is a completely different level when you get to the NFL. Don't
but it's still
expect to
college.
see that. Yeah, don't expect to see him doing that on a daily basis in the NFL.
No.
As
Not until
rookie,
like year 2 or 3.
Yeah, but as he grows in, a perfect example is Andre James. Even last year, he got dogged on a few plays. But if you look at his rookie year, like, it's night and day difference. He's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Still not an elite player yet. Maybe he will become. He's still not a top tier center. He's probably not, even in the top 15.
He's actually a top 10 center. I'll argue that with you.
I don't have the energy or the strength to argue.
We'll wait for another day when you're feeling more energized.
I would say Andre James right now, I would put him between top 16 to 20, somewhere between 16 to 20. I think one of the issues with him is he does on a lot of plays, he gets beat by power moves. He gets pushed back out of his position, out of his stance too easily.
He can. I wouldn't say on a lot of plays. I would say that like if he does get beat, it's typically that, and by exceptionally strong players like say a Chris Jones or somebody who's like just immovable in the run game, right? A huge nose tackle or something like that. Those are going to be the issues that you're going to see with him. But then what he gives you as far as his ability to move and get to the second level as a pass blocker and then as a run blocker in like every other situation is why he's statistically a top 10 center. I think I can prove that point. But I hear Raider fans about that. I think moving to the system we're running now under Getsy, which is a wide zone system, is going to take advantage more of what Andre James is good at, right? Instead of forcing him to do things he's not good at.
That's what I was going to bring up is even in the draft, we drafted guys who are better at outside zone blocking versus power blocking. And McDaniel's offense was all power blocking, but we didn't actually have the linemen to match up to his offense, which is why the line struggled so much. And if you look at it, a lot of the line was the same under McDaniel's as what it was under Gruden, but the offensive line under Gruden played better. Why? Because Gruden's system was more mixed towards zone blocking, outside zone blocking versus the power. And so he drafted those smaller, quicker guys where McDaniels wanted bigger, stronger guys. And why does McDaniels want bigger, stronger guys? Because he wants a Tom Brady quarterback that's going to stand like a statue and just throw the ball down the field. And so you need those big, strong guys who can hold on for that extra 2 seconds. And that just didn't work out with the offensive line that we had. I think now what you're going to see is, again, we're going to see a lot of screen passes with Luke Getsy's system, which is a best friend to a quarterback. Gives them confidence. You're getting completions. You're picking up first downs. All of that stuff. They're easy to do. But it also draws defenses in so that when you want to hit them over the top, you can hit them over the top. It also makes defenses a little bit more hesitant to immediately try and attack the quarterback because it might be a screen. So there's a lot more quarterback friendliness to where you don't have to be Tom Brady, and you don't have to have Tom Brady's offensive line to make it work. And we had
Exactly.
neither one of those under McDaniels. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a much better situation this year with Andre James. I think he'll be better in this new system than he was under McDaniels. Again, because under McDaniels he was being asked to be a power center, and so he would go up against nose tackles who were stronger than him, and would
Yeah.
just push him back, and that would cause the pocket to collapse. So I think he's going to be a lot better this year. We'll see if he's going to become a star center, but I do believe as long as Miller's shoulder is okay, he'll have another Pro Bowl year. I think
Hmm.
JPJ is possibly going to get a whole bunch of snaps this year. I think he's going to end up winning maybe by
100.
midseason. I think he'll win the starting position. Let's see if Dylan Parham can take that next step.
Huge.
And
Him being moved to like he's been moved to the right guard position. Like I said on draft day, I think as soon as we got JPJ, I told you guys JPJ is going to be left guard. He's going to be right guard. So that's happened. That's huge.
yeah,
Dylan Parham is a much better right guard than left guard. Go check his stats in college, all that good stuff. So him moving over there is a big deal. And Thayer Munford is a better player than people are giving credit for. I think he's going to be one of the better right tackles in the NFL. So
that's what I was going to say too. Is Coach Antonio Pierce is big up there in Munford and the progress that he's made. I mean, obviously, you're going against two of the best uh, defensive linemen in Max Crosby and
yeah,
Christian
that's true.
Wilkins.
Right.
So that all
And then
that
Coons.
you're gonna lose against those guys, but you're gonna win reps against those guys, and all that's
Yeah.
gonna do is make you better. And so when it comes week one, it doesn't matter who you throw against him. He's already gone against the best. He's seen the
Yeah.
best hand checks and hand fighting and the spin
Yeah.
moves and the swim moves and the underarm hooks. He's seen everything Max Crosby has, and he's one of the best at hand fighting, checking, and moves and motor and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think he'll only get better. Hopefully, we'll see. If that happens, Aiden O'Connell showed it last year. If he has time in the pocket, he's going to tear you up. When he doesn't have time in the pocket, that's when he made some mistakes. Started to clean that up, started to maneuver in the pocket better, get out of the pocket and make plays. That was really good. If he can continue that this year, great.
Mhm.
And if the offensive line and Luke Getsy can keep the defense on their toes to
Mhm.
where he can step back and he can chuck the ball 40, 50 yards down the field to Trey Tucker, Devontae Adams, it's going to be a very fun season to watch.
Yeah. He has a reportedly stronger arm, which is awesome. We'll take that. Um, Also, in the breakdown of the offense, when looking at tape, Getsy's offense has a lot more outs for the quarterback. The check down options on both sides of the field. I know that's getting in the weeds a little bit, but not every offense has a check down option to every side of the field. You may have a check down that's literally like behind you in your read progression, and so you've got to kind of like spin backwards and then locate your check down, which is a lot can be difficult and it causes interceptions, things like that. If you got Tom Brady in that offense, it doesn't matter. But in this offense, it's more friendly. You're going to see a lot more, uh, fulfilled reads and ability to kind of get to easier answers if the first read is not there or if there's pressure and that sort of stuff. So that'll help him some. And then just being more familiar with the offense will help also. So I want to
Exactly.
make that point.
So before we wrap up today, guys, just so you know, the sale on the T-shirts, these are dry fit T-shirts. These are not cheap, print on demand. We actually had these manufactured for
Really
our
nice.
company.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go get them, the sale is continuing on. I think right now they're on sale for $14.95. Retail price is $39.95. So you don't want to miss out on that. It's over 67% off. I think 64 or 67% off. That sale is only going to continue as long as supplies last. We have a certain number of shirts that we need to sell over the next 2 weeks so that we can make more orders. Once we hit that number, unfortunately, they will have to go back up because at this price, not really making any money. We're just using that money to get more shirts in different sizes, as well as we got some more designs that are going to be coming out. And we are working on a hat design as well. So help out the channel, help out the company. Go and get your shirt while they are on a huge discount to where literally we're just not even really making any money. But we're going to reinvest that so that we can get you guys some more awesome gear for the Raiders.
Yes.
It is the Black Rain official. This is our own brand. So love to have you guys sporting that. Go and get them right now. Just Win, baby. Max Crosby t-shirt silhouettes. Dry fit, so it's going to keep you, it's going to wick away that moisture. It's all high quality stuff. Again, we don't do any of that garbage print on demand stuff that you see on other channels, because I check their stuff and it's like, oh my goodness, you're charging $39 for a cotton t-shirt that looks terrible just by putting, I think they'll put like Raider Nation for life or something like that just in the 4 letters, and it's like, come on, man, let's do it for real. So that's why we started our own company, Black Rain Official. Go and get them right now. There's also posters available. You can get the big posters, which you can see here on the thing. Hot Beavers, if you have not subscribed to his channel, go and check out his channel. Fantastic videos, fantastic breakdowns. He has been with me pretty much since the beginning of my journey, so we often are doing these podcasts together. He is also a contributing writer to the Black Rain Official newsletter, which, because of my health issues, we haven't been putting out, but we are working on trying to get back on track with that. And hopefully my health issues are going to, we'll figure out what's going on. Hopefully I mean, I've had, I don't know, 7 doctors now, 100 blood tests, CT scans, MRI scans, all kinds of stuff that got me on anti-seizure medication. We still don't have an answer at this point. Best guess scenario right now is it's a complication of a particular vaccine that the entire country and the entire world were forced to take. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not that. So I appreciate everybody being here. I know I haven't been live as much as usual. Again, I've had some severe health issues all month since the 1st of June. Trying my best. Like right now, my energy is like,
doing it, guys.
I'm down to about 30%. I started this live, I was at like 70. Now I'm down to like 30. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out for the night, go lay down and rest for a little bit. Hot, I appreciate you as always. Love you, my brother. Love the Raiders. You guys know how we end these live streams each and every time. No matter how I'm feeling, say it with me. Raiders! Just win.